Hi, boys and girls. Boys and girls, we've been talking about these three-dimensional shapes, and I decided to get some out to show you. This is a cone. It kind of looks like that ice cream cone that you eat, but it has all this curved side here, but it has this one flat side. This is called a surface. This is a flat surface, and you can set a cone down on its flat surface. And when you trace around that cone on its flat surface, then you get a circle. Now I was going to show you, boys and girls, if you use different three-dimensional shapes, like here's a cube. Well, actually, this is a rectangular prism because it has rectangles. A rectangular prism. You can trace around each one and you can see the shapes. If you don't have any at home, boys and girls, you might have to use your imagination to draw them. But if you trace around a rectangular prism, you can get rectangles. And if you trace around the other end of it, you might even get a square. So we're putting these three-dimensional shapes down on their flat surfaces, and we're tracing them to see what shape they will make. So let's go ahead and turn the page and take a look at another one. We have a rectangular prism here. Oh, I just told you the answer to that one, didn't I? It says trace around the flat surfaces of the three-dimensional shape to find two-dimensional shapes. Two-dimensional means they're flat. They lay down on the surface. So if we traced this one all the way around, we would have a bunch of rectangle sides, and we would have two square sides. What they did was they traced every side all the way around, and they traced the two ends. So let's look at this one. Here's a cube, just like this cube here. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they are flat. And if you traced around them, what would they all look like? Well, this side looks like a square when I trace it. I'm going to show you. This looks like a square. What if I trace this? Oh, it's still going to be a square. Or this, it's going to be a square. Or this, it's going to be a square. Three-dimensional shapes that have flat sides make a two-dimensional shape when you trace them. Now we're looking at a cylinder. Look at this cylinder. If I roll it this way, that's its curved sides. It doesn't lay flat. It just keeps rolling. It just rolls around. But if I put it this way, it doesn't go anywhere because it's sitting on its flat side. If we trace the flat side, like we did before on the cone, it has a circle also. So the flat sides of a cylinder are circles. And then we have our rectangular prism again. And we already talked about when you trace the rectangular prism, you're going to have cubes and rectangles. You're going to have squares and rectangles, All right, look around here. They traced one of the sides and they got this rectangle shape. What could they have traced? Could they have traced the bottom of this box? Yes. Could they have traced this book? Yes, they could have traced around this rectangular book. What about this can that looks like a cylinder? Could you trace the cylinder and get a rectangle? No, and this can looks like a cylinder. They would make a circle, so you cannot use those. What two shapes did we learn made circles? A cylinder and a cone. They both have a circle side. So we can set them down on their flat side. So this can has two circles on the top and bottom. That's a cylinder. This tube has two circles, just like that. There's a circle on each end. This ice cream cone, if we stand it up, it makes a circle. What about this box? If we traced on this box anywhere, would it be a circle? No. Let's look at this, a square. Well, this is a cylinder. It has two circles, bottom, top. Oh, Miss Heifer did the wrong thing. X that one off. This cube, would it have a square? Yes, you could trace these and have squares. This square box for tissues? Yes. What about this cone hat? No, we said if we trace a cone, it's going to be a circle. And then we have a rectangle. Which one of these shapes made a rectangle? Was it the cone? No. Was it the sphere? We haven't talked about the sphere, but it's round all the way. Could it make these sharp corners? No. Was it the cylinder with the two round ends? No. What about this box of crayons? Could it be traced around the bottom or the top or the sides and get a rectangle? Yes. Now, this is a shape we haven't talked very much about, boys and girls. It's called a pyramid. A pyramid has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. Oh, let me get that here where you can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. And if you laid it down on its bottom and traced it, you would get a, what do you think it's going to be? A square, a closed up square. If you laid it on the side, I'm out of room here to show you these. If you laid it on the side and traced it, what shape do you think the side looks like? What's it look like right there? That's right, a triangle. So if you trace the sides of this, the bottom looks like a square and the sides look like triangles. This is called a pyramid. It has 4 triangle sides and 1 square side. Let's turn the page. All right, boys and girls. This is for you to do at home with your family. Here's your homework section. And also, boys and girls, some practice with story problems and ad. I'm going to go ahead very quickly and do your review with you. We're going to draw lines to the shapes that match. Only flat surfaces, no curves. So this has a curve. Can't draw there. This one has all flat. So we would draw there. This one has all flat. And these have curves. Now you want only a curved surface, no flat. Well, we just learned that a cone has a flat circle. And we learned that a cylinder has 2 flat circles. So the only one with that's all curved and no flat is the sphere. And then these 2 have both flat parts and curved parts. So we're going to draw to those 2. Down here on number 2, you're going to use a cylinder and a cube and make a different shape with them. This is a cylinder and a rectangular prism. Does that work? No. This is a cylinder and a cube. Yes, that works. This is a cylinder and a cube. That works too. This is a cone and a cube. No. This is a cylinder and a cube. There's another time that it works. So they just put them in different places, but they stuck those 2 together. On number 3, they gave you 1 green tower, and they want you to make, can you make this shape? Yes or no? If you take this shape and you copy it, will it make this shape? Yes. If you take this shape and you make another one, you copy it, could you make this? Yes, you could flip these right over. You could put the cube on top and the cylinder on the bottom, but they're still glued together. Yes. Look at this. If you have these 2 and you copy that, then you would have to have 4 of these. So no, you could not make that if you If you copied this, you have to have 2 plus 2 more. That would be 4. All right. Damon built this shape. Choose the shapes that Damon used. What shapes did he use? Did he use cubes? Yes. Did he use cylinders? No. Spheres? No. Cones? Yes. These are the 2 that he used. Number 5. Circle the number that makes the sentence true. There are blank circles on a cylinder. Oh, we talked about that. This is a cylinder. There's 1 circle and 1 on the bottom. So there's 1, 2. 2 cylinders, 2 circles on a cylinder. Number 6, it says Sarah wants to trace a circle. She finds these objects. Which one can she trace? Can she trace the cube? No. The tissue box? No, it's a cube also. But she could trace the cone, the funnel here. It's the shape of a cone, and it would have a flat circle. So yes, she could trace that. Now, we're not going to draw it. But what would happen if she used the cube? We can draw this pretty easy. She would get a square. Number 7, which shape has 2 flat surfaces? Well, this one we know has 6 flat surfaces. And the cone we know just has 1. And this one has 6. And this one has a circle on top and a circle on bottom. So it has 2. And that's the answer. Look at this big shape. How many sets of these blocks are used? So how many of these stacked on top of each other? So here's 2 together, here's 2 together, and here's 2 together laying down. So they used 3 of these to make this big set. Number 9, Alan built this shape with a rectangular prism and a cylinder. Which shapes did Alan use? No spheres, no cones. There's a cylinder, and here's a rectangular prism. She didn't use any cubes. How else could we put these together? That's right. We might put a cylinder next to the rectangular prism. And you could just draw it just like this, boys and girls, and I would know what you were doing. All right. Hector built this shape. Circle the shapes that Hector used. Did he use a cube? Kind of looks like a cube in here. It might be a rectangular prism. Miss Hufford would take either one of those because it's kind of hard to tell if those are squares or not with those little things on there. He used cylinders. He didn't use any spheres. And he used cones on top. So the only thing we know for sure he did not use were the spheres. This right here it looks to me like maybe it's a rectangular prism and we just can't see all the edges. But it could be a cube. These could be 4 squares here. And it would make it a cube. It's a little hard to tell with the cylinders around it. So if either one you pick, I really think it's probably a cube. But it could be a rectangular prism. The way that it's set up is hard to see. All right, boys and girls. Hope you do a great job on your test. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.